Broadcast live.
Hey yo, what's happening? This is basically supposed to be a backyard interview, but because
This is my backyard.
yeah, but because Shekhinah's literally like on the go, I gotta catch her backstage. You know what I mean? Shout out to the good people from Views for allowing us this
Yes,
space,
thank
and
you.
allowing us to do this. We've been trying to catch up. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. You guys don't come to Durban. If you guys came to Durban, we could have done this.
I
When
know
it's Slinger on Life, getting on a flight.
City of Durban is. Seems like it's easy to get something from the city of Durban.
No, it's not.
Okay, I believe you then.
Yes.
Yo, you so dramatic.
I know. I
Like,
know.
why is there trouble in paradise? And by the way, I was telling you earlier on, when I heard the title of your album, right, and I think Fixate could have been the first single, and I saw the cover, and the cover had so many things happening, but it's like this artistic stuff, and it's like Trouble in Paradise. Even the cover looked like I'm just going through. Why are you so dramatic?
I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm very dramatic. I'm so sorry. But it's just the facts. It's just the facts. Like things were rose gold and then there was trouble in paradise. And I think there's no getting away from how simple it is. Like what should I have named it? Something more chilled.
It's gonna be alright.
Okay, I'm dramatic.
I mean, look, you do have a song actually on the album that says that like it's gonna be alright.
Yes,
You do
yes,
say
yes.
at least something.
Yes.
Because
No, there is positivity on the project.
Because my thing is that you go Trouble in Paradise, and then after that you kind of give us a release date. Then you go, no, I'm still crying. No,
Exactly.
wait,
Yes,
no,
yes,
you know what I mean?
yes,
I
yes.
feel that was happening. So
Yes.
I was like, yo. Every time she probably delays the album, she went in the studio and started crying, and they had to cancel the session.
Exactly. It was a lot of sitting on my couch and like not actually working on the album and like just processing everything. I'm being deep. I'm too deep for secure life. Like
No. Actually, there's a lot of guys going through this,
no, I know.
and girls.
The guys go through it the most.
Yeah.
They're just cute about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I know. I feel like I had to go through everything and then write about it. Go through it, understand it, then write about it. Instead of just write about it. So I had to process things. And it took me longer than I thought it would. That's why the album kept getting delayed. Because I thought I knew what I was going through. Then I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know what's happening. But it turned out well for me.
I mean, the album is done. Jeez, like, I don't know whether you're like going, yeah, but I'm alright though. Why is Tides the first song and not the intro?
I'm drowning, in my surrounding. Don't want no one else around me. Only you push and ground me. You lift me up, keep my head up. Water when the tide is high.
Tides is like a going back to the ocean. Tides, the waves, is where I'm
Okay,
from, KZN.
Yeah.
So it starts there, and I think that's where all the thought processes begin. Once you go home, you breathe, and then you decide what's going on, intro, and then you come back to the next song, which is coming back to Joburg and realizing, okay, I actually feel miserable, the next song. And it makes sense.
I mean, Miserable obviously is the intro.
What can I do? I know it do. Wish I could just press undo. They say I did best with you. Best with you.
It's almost like you earlier on you were saying Joburg is so wild, and I was like, yo, you look like you were doing well in the wilderness.
I was, but I think we all look like we're doing well in the wilderness, and we all think we're doing well until it's 2020 and there's a pandemic and you don't have a roaring audience in front of you, like distracting you from what you feel or what you're going through. So you're isolated from everyone and you're really like forced to tell yourself like, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm beautiful, I'm not till there's no liquor, there's no cigarettes. Like, it takes a lot to actually be able to sit and be like, actually, I'm not okay, you know? So I think that's why I just wanted this album, to be something that people can listen to when there's trouble in their paradise. And that's not to say paradise will not be paradise again. It's just a moment of time where paradise is troubled. You know, the world is pretty troubled right now. So it's just synonymous with that. Like,
and obviously when we talk about trouble in paradise, there's also part of your personal life, your love life in that conversation. Does the pandemic hit and already you are going through your personal trouble in paradise, or is it happen or does it happen during the pandemic?
I think the thing here is that it's many different scenarios mixed into one album.
Yeah.
So it's not maybe one relationship or one. You know, a lot of the songs on the album I started writing like just after Rose Gold.
Yeah.
So Fixate, I had Una Rams's verse from Pickup for 2 years.
Yeah.
I had Beatty's verse for a year. I had people's music sitting with me for a long time. And I think it's just losing friendship, going in and out of like, this person was my best friend in college, now they don't mean anything to me anymore. And I thought I was going to marry this guy, but now we're strangers. And then it's your lockdown relationship. Shady. And now lockdown's over and that relationship doesn't exist.
Oh,
So
God.
there's a lot of things put into one, you know, and also my relationship with my audience. I and have fans, people, stages, distractions, hotel rooms, flights. I was in my apartment and I was just really confronted with everything, and I was like, wait, Joburg, my paradise is not the same anymore.
I mean, you know, when you talk about like losing, you know, you say things like, they say I don't get to choose how I get to lose you
Yeah.
on Miserable, you know. For me, that's like a deep insight, you know. It's like because you don't see yourself losing people, right? So how in the world can you be told, how could you choose it, you know? For me, that was like really like digging from a deep place.
Yeah, it was, because I feel like some like relationships you don't see ending, you know. Like I said, I also lost a lot of friendships and a lot of people, and I was like, wow, I would never have wanted this to happen right now or
Yeah.
at all. So sometimes you don't get to choose how you lose, even in all situations or all scenarios in life. Like, we can shoot a music video and never put it out, and like
Yeah.
we've lost that capital, and we like, I've lost in many ways before, not just in love. I think love is just the easiest way to personify things for your audience,
Yeah.
but it's really just broader than that, you know.
What's interesting about you is even when I was looking at your projects, they licensed through your name.
Yes.
Like, what's the it's like that business kind of perspective, or at least from your first album, you know, you're like, okay, even this one, what rationale do you have to kind of take that business approach for your career? Because I mean, just talking about losing, because I'm sure there are challenges and expectations
yeah,
and things you don't meet in
100%.
that space. You know what I mean?
100%. I think when I was 21 or 20, that was like the best way for me, or I thought was the best way for me to do, is to license my project instead of be a 360 artist. I think at the time that was just the thing you were avoiding, was being a 360 artist. And now I would advise artists differently on even a licensing agreement, you know, which is what I have. But at the end of the day, I wanted to still have ownership, and that was the best way I could do it. I don't think I was brave enough to be independent. That takes a lot of bravery. And I don't think I had the money to be independent. So I licensed things through my own label, through my label to Sony. And honestly, in 2021, as much as I'm like, oh, I could have been independent, I'm actually like, I've relied so much on my label, and they've been a bit of a left leg or a backbone for me at times, because I'm more creative than I am business savvy. So yeah, that's also an interesting chat.
Look, I mean, I think that people always say it's great, you can own your shit, but like, does do the masters count?
Yeah.
And you've got an incredible catalog. I mean, like the shit that you own is like
Yeah.
songs,
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
So I mean, congratulations on that decision you made at 21 years.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
scary times. Signing papers at 21, mess, but fun also.
So obviously you said you kind of were in certain relationships, then you have to move, right? And then you got a song like Questions.
Best friends don't sit this close. Inside jokes. Spending all this time alone. Best friends don't call at 2. Sometimes they do. But not let me hear you. I'ma say some things I might regret. Pathetic.
And I don't know whether Questions is like sort of like your lockdown song. It's like what if you break my heart? What if it's almost like, where is that song positioned in your life? Is that like the lockdown kind of moving into, okay, what does this mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Are we gonna be in this cave forever?
Yo, you spot on. I hate that. Yes, question
I told
is,
you I was
yeah,
listening, right?
no, you spot on. Questions is the lockdown love song where it's like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? But let me put it holistically.
Yeah.
When you're 26, I'm not a kid anymore. Everything I do requires a lot of questions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I can't just go into things anymore like purely based on like passion or heart. I have to ask myself a million questions, down to which producers am I going to work with? What relationship am I going to have with this person once the song is out? Because then we're married, or we have a baby together. And if I want to do this with the song, I need to, So at 26 years old, I think I found myself needing to ask myself a lot of questions before I do anything. Before, like, everything was rose gold. Like, I was just doing whatever I want and things were, happening and being smoothly guided. But yes, Questions is the lockdown love song where I felt like, this could go really bad or really good. Shout out to my nana, who helped write that song, and Bubelo and David. Yeah.
I was wondering also, when you do talk about, and I'm glad you raised that, when you talk about like even choosing who you work on a song, I felt like this album, the people who were in the room for the Rose Gold album, probably they some of them weren't there anymore, and there could have been some new energy in the album, in the people in the room in this album. And I was interested. Is that correct?
Not entirely.
Yeah.
We still have Goofy Goofy produces, engineers all my music. Scales has a song on the project. Lucci mixed and mastered the project. Those are the three main producers. Luke Goliath made Suited. He's also still on the album with Fall Apart. I think I try to work with the same people because it's a comfort zone. And there are things that are outside of my comfort zone, which are like 2 or 3 songs that are new producers and new energies.
Which song are those?
Questions.
Yeah.
New producer, new even writers. I've never had that before. I Love It Here, same producers, same writers. And then Pickup, which is Soma.
Okay.
So yeah, I allowed new people into my space, which is not something I usually do, and I was super successful. Will always do it. And Una Rams killed his verse.
That's another thing. How do you choose the people you collaborate with? I mean, in Rose Gold, obviously there was the success of Suited, which I think that's joined that at Mary Shan, right?
Oh, that's different.
Different.
Yes.
I mean, sorry, Suited is just like still playing, It's that was highly successful. And I asked myself, how do you choose who you collaborate also? Because you like a huge you like a creative, you know what I mean? So how do you make those decisions? And I saw you like back and forth with Uno Rams, and I was like, do you connect to the person first, or do you connect to the creativity? How do you make those calls?
I think it's connecting to the creativity first, being a fan of the artist first. Big fan of Una Rams, big fan of Beatty, huge fan of Luke Goliath. And once you're a fan, then you like create a rapport, and then you're like, yo, I'd really love to work with you. And then you work. I don't think it's always like necessarily like we come together and we're cool. I think it's just I have to be a fan of like what you do, how you do,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and I'm a fan of those people.
In the even like now 21, like now you 26, you saying you got to think about everything you do, but how important is the music for you still, just making the music? And I'm saying, there's the idea of releasing music, there's the idea of making music.
Mm.
How important are both those ideas for you, and which holds more weight?
Making music holds more weight for me,
Yeah.
I think, which is why it took so long for me to release the music. Um, Releasing it is like really difficult, but making it is also even more difficult.
Yeah.
So I think I want to like the song first. I
Yeah.
want to make sure when I give it to you, I'm over it, you know? And I think sometimes when you're in the industry and you are successful and you do have music that streams, it's difficult to step back and make a boring song and just love the boring song
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
you know, because it comes to a space where you're like, okay, I need to put out music now. What do I put on this body of work? And you can't always put your labor of love on the body
Yeah.
of work. You have to put what's gonna be commercially viable or what's gonna sell. So I'm not really big into releasing. I think that sucks, but it doesn't suck when people love the music and, you know, give you love back. But making music has just changed so much, I think, from when you're hungry and passionate and want people to know your name and you want to release, to like, whoa, this is actually my art, like this is actually my therapy, this is my shit, like now I have to share it with everyone. So I think my energy changed from Rose Gold being like, listen to me, like
Yeah.
to Trouble in Paradise to be like, listen to me if you want to listen to me, if you want to hear the story. And yeah, hopefully I'll make music differently all the time. Like I don't want to have 6 albums out, like
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to do things when I'm ready.
Yeah. I guess also there's a pain, there's a joy, there's something sacred about it, when you actually see it making you successful. So there's also that idea of, yo, listen to me if you want. It's sacred. Leave it alone if you don't want to touch it. It's like, you don't just get engaged with it just because. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the songs that I was listening to, I was like, you got to tell me about Diamonds.
Help you move on. Better move on. There go you gone. Didn't even buy me any jewelry. See, I got better things to do.
Diamonds sounds like you're just fed up of all these niggas and you said, just give me diamonds, you shit.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. That's what Diamonds is about. It's like, what makes a girl happy?
Yeah, that lasts
You
forever.
know what I
Okay,
mean?
you can go.
you know what to do. And I feel like if also, you get to a space in your life where you're like, what are your intentions? Because, like Frank Ocean, do you not think so far ahead? Like, I know I just met you, but like, I'm legit thinking about forever with you.
Yeah.
And I think Diamonds do is like that for me. Is like, actually, I want diamonds now. I want diamonds, and not just a ring. I want more girls. I want diamond earrings, and I want, you kind of get to a space where you're like, I want this, or actually I'm okay by myself, or I can stand my own ground. I can buy my own things. So Diamonds do is really for like all my independent ladies that, don't settle for anything but diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rap for niggas out here.
Well, you gave someone a diamond, so you know. you know.
Shout out also, yo. I'll never forget that coming through to my
Oh,
wedding
yeah.
and shit.
No
Talking about
stress.
wedding song.
I wanna give you my all, 'cause even when the sky falls, you be the one that I call a blessing. I know in another life I'd still be the one you want.
You're so affectionate. You say I would bring you healing after all the seasons. I know in another life I'd still be the one you wife. Rest your heart in me. I'm like, yo, you expressing what you gonna give, but what do you want?
What do I want?
You
Diamonds.
26, you 26 years. What do you
I want
When a
diamonds.
man comes to you, what do you want?
Diamonds.
Okay, yo, there's a lot of trouble in paradise.
Diamonds.
It's still rocky in paradise.
Give me diamonds.
The album is out. Go get the album right now. Stream the album. It's doing super well also. Sophomore. It's the one with the chest.
Sophomore.
Kisofa. Kisofa. Sophomore.
Thank
You
you
know,
so much.
the girl Shekhinah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Trouble in Paradise. Go stream that.
Broadcast live